The Ravens are in a cover 6 look here, or a quarter half, with Chuck, the free safety, responsible for half field coverage deep, and Earl Thomas, Marcus Peters, each are responsible for a quarter coverage deep, and anything vertical that way. Marlon's going to have to get underneath this and play the flats, and he turns and runs with one of these verticals. Seattle does do a good job of selling that, but that's not his job. He's got to get underneath into this flat area, and he responds to that very late. You can see Marcus Peters pointing that out to him, and that's an easy completion. So that's just a blown coverage. I do like Josh Bynes very much. You see him initially read run, kind of shuffle that way, and then he sees the keep of the quarterback. He's going to sort of initially turn and haul to the hook curl on his side. So does 58 Fort. But at a certain point, you see Bynes turn and find the receiver, and he's sort of in a pattern matching man coverage at this point. Does a great job picking up that cross. But yeah, just a miscommunication in coverage and assignment there. Russell Wilson's going to see this matchup, and that's what he wants. Off the snap, he's going to keep his eyes in the middle of the field and try to hold Earl. But that's the matchup that he wants. He kind of lets it fly. I was watching one of Coach Evans' breakdown videos, and he talked about, it may have been Brandon. I'm not sure. I forget which DB he was talking about, but Brandon is very good at this, at using the sideline as a defender. You see him squeeze here. I also like how he turns to find a football. And great job holding up when you're the target one-on-one outside there. We'll see from the other side, from a different angle, how little room, how little room this receiver has to make this catch. It's going to have to be a perfect throw. He's continuing to squeeze him. Even here, watch him turn to find the football too. Watch Brandon right there. Yeah, just look how fine that throw would have to be. And Brandon's in a position to make a play on it if it is. A little bit clunky on this stunt here between Brandon and Judon. I'm not sure what. Yeah, you can see that you don't want them both going into the same gap there. Fort does a pretty good job of getting pressure, but yeah, you're looking at just him making up his mind beforehand that that's what he wants. So Wilson's going to hold the middle of the field safety, and then he's going to take his shot, and then Carr holds up real well on the back end. It's a real interesting stunt here across a few gaps and between Brandon and Matt Judon. Brandon is at inside 2 here, kind of splits the center guard, but toward the center. Judon's going to fold inside B gap and around this guard, the right guard. They're trying to get on top of this left guard here. And Judon effectively kind of splits this center and guard combination. And Brandon's going to try to fold. And again, they want to get on top of this guard and make the center have to play one or the other. You can see Judon gets tripped up between the two. Center picks up Brandon. But Judon does a great job keeping his balance. Ultimately, this is a coverage sack. The coverage downfield is really, really nice. And that's what you're seeing. You're seeing the Ravens run a lot of these stunts, but doing a pretty good job here getting pressure, rushing for. Yeah, you can see the coverage on the back end is quite good. Run it from the top. And Russell Wilson ends up just throwing it away. The Ravens drop 8 into coverage and bring 3 here. Wilson's going to scramble, get rid of the ball. Interesting, we have Bennett Jackson on the field here, along with Chris Board. I think that's Chris getting out on a back. Bennett's a little bit late here, maybe a little too far to one side. But you see Wilson kind of pump that way. He kind of wants the back and then pull it down. When he sees Bennett kind of responding or breaking that way. So he gets there in time. Wilson thinks better of throwing this football. It's interesting. You see Levine calling that out to Bennett Jackson. You see that? I don't know if you can see his arm there. He's definitely moving him to that side. And he does get there, I think, a little late. You see, just at the last second, Wilson pull that ball down, but in enough time. You can see Peter's kind of locking up Metcalf here. Metcalf kind of tosses him to the side in the end zone. Good coverage overall. The Ravens are concerned about Lockett clearly with Humphrey in man underneath, and then Levine, I think that is, on top. Chuck's really good in man here. Generally, I mean, I'm really pleased by Chuck Clark in man on these tight ends. One thing I noticed, though, is he does tend to eyeball the quarterback a fair bit when he is in man. You see him lose him there at the last second? I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be shadowing him across the field. So that's a little bit of a breakdown that the quarterback does not see. Earl is so good. Earl sees everything, almost everything. Watch him break on that. Yeah, so interesting that, the Ravens do get pressure here, but sorry. Bowser wins outside. See this rip. Gets hands off of him, underhand rip, dips his shoulder. Judon wins on the outside. What's Judon do? Bull rush, rip, bend, and you see the pump here clearly, or the pull down by Wilson. Just kind of reads Bennett on that side. And then he tries to escape. Just good hustle again by Judon and Ricard here. And they chase him down. He's got to get rid of it. Watch it from this side. I know I said this in another video, but Brandon Williams just played so good in this game. Just great. Watch him work outside, get the guard to respond, and then lunge, and then beats him. This is all Brandon here. That's like a grizzly bear or something coming at you. Yeah, this ball just comes out because Wilson knows he's got that big bear coming at him. That's a throwaway. So if Brandon can continue to play, these two big guys can continue to play the way they played versus Seattle. Just a little subtle move outside. And both of those guys are so quick. Brandon played great in this game.